Rogan's show, this is my issue. I like his show. I especially love it when he has people that are scientists or people that talk about psychedelics. But when it comes to political discussions, he has on people that just don't know anything and are, in many cases, purposely misinforming people and are paid by billionaires to misinform people. So here's the best way I can put it. Joe Rogan wouldn't have somebody on the show to talk about how great sugar is. You should eat sugar. It's really good for your diet. In fact, if you just eat sugar, you're going to be really healthy. Because that's ridiculous. There's no evidence to back that up. Rogan knows enough about diet and exercise that he wouldn't have somebody like that on his show. But when it comes to political discussions, because he's a blank slate, he'll bring in anybody. And often he tends to side with people that are reactionaries, as reactionaries are able to really work on the brains of individuals who are your average person. Joe Rogan's like your average guy. He supports issues like Medicare for all. He supports universal health care. He supports helping people that are homeless. But he doesn't understand the mechanisms to be able to achieve those things and the politics behind that. Because when you have on people who are reactionaries, who are conservatives, who are paid by billionaires to sow misinformation and create arguments that have no founding in reality, when you bring people like that on and platform them, you are exposing your audience to misinformation. It's like if he brought on somebody that talked about how great sugar is, even if Rogan pushed back on that person, you still have that argument out there. And some people are going to come away thinking, hey, that pro-sugar guy made some good arguments. So it's the exact same thing. He wouldn't have on, me to talk about jiu-jitsu because I don't know shit about jiu-jitsu. So why are you going to have discussions about politics with people that are misinforming their audiences about the reality? But he does it unknowingly. So I don't think Rogan's a bad actor. I think a lot of what Rogan has been able to do is good, he's been able to at times have incredible discussions that are worthwhile, that are worth listening to. And that is why I'm still subscribed to him and I still listen to his show. But those political discussions, man, I mean, unless it's Kyle Kalinske, who's rarely on, he's been on twice, I think. David Pakman, even though I have my disagreements with Pakman, he's at least better than the usual. Bernie Sanders was on once. Cornel West was on last year. Cornel West needs to be on consistently if he can. I mean, he's a guy that I think clearly from that discussion Rogan respects. Rogan's read his book. So the issue, another issue is that Rogan really doesn't appear to really absorb information. He's only as informed, but when it comes to politics, he's only as informed as his last guest. So if he talked to Kyle Kalinske last, he's going to have a better position, better view on politics than if he talked to, Tim Pool last or Ben Shapiro last. So it's a problem because he has a powerful platform. These are not just private conversations. If you want to have private conversations with these bad actors, okay, whatever, fine. But when you have the kind of platform that Rogan has, and you don't push back enough. Yes, he has in the past when he had Ruben on, he pushed back. That was great. But still, there's no reason to expose us to these bad actors to begin with. There is no reason to have them on. There's no issue having conservatives on that are honest with their arguments, that have real positions that they are fighting for, that they're informed on, even though I think they're going to be wrong in their positions. If they're honest about their positions and say somebody's, pro-corporate, pro big donors, and that's what they think is most important. They love capitalism, and they don't care if you're born into, a zip code where your family's poor, you have no opportunity. If he has people on that think that's perfectly fine, and those people are honest with those arguments, okay, have those discussions. But don't pretend that you are, as a conservative commentator or whatever, don't pretend you're something that you're not. Don't pretend you're fighting for people when you're not. You are simply fighting for the interests that support you, that benefit you financially. that give you money. That's what the Shapiros do. That's what the Dave Rubins do. They have these big billionaire backers. People on the left, people on the actual left, they don't have any money from billionaires. What billionaire is going to give people on the left money when we want to raise their taxes and get rid of billionaires? So you have to be able to look at these arguments for what they are and who is discussing them. Now, I know there's a million chats right now. I'm well behind on the chat, but let me play this clip here. And this is an instance that Rogan did push back on Ben Shapiro. I haven't watched this whole interview. Honestly, I don't think I will. I can't stand listening to Shapiro for 2 hours. But let's check this out.
We came up with taking the knee because there are issues that still need to be addressed, and it was also a way to try to show more respect to the men and women that fight for this country.
Okay, so that's better, obviously.
But that's him.
So, a bit of a pushback there. Good. Still, I don't see the point of having Ben Shapiro on your show. I mean, Ben Shapiro is a guy. Like once you see the argument, I mean, there's a million different examples of this. But that argument where someone's asking him about climate change, and his response to a person saying, "Hey, how about climate change impacting, Florida and people having their homes on the water? And what if your home gets flooded? Like, do you understand the impact of climate change? If you believe climate change exists, which I guess Ben Shapiro does, shouldn't we do something about it because it's going to impact real people's lives?" Ben Shapiro's response to that is, well, sell your home. You got to sell your home. I mean, if you're gonna lose your home through flooding, then you got to sell your home. Sell your home. Who's gonna buy your home when it's underwater? So once he brings out those BS arguments, like that's it. You can tell the guy's full of shit, and you don't need to talk to him anymore. Like that, there are a million examples of Ben Shapiro pulling out the BS arguments like that. So there's just no H Bomber guy with the Aquaman. You know what? Let's just play that.
So let's say, for the sake of argument, that all of the water levels around the world rise by let's say 5 feet over the next 100 years, say 10 feet by the next 100 years, and it puts all the low-lying areas on the coast underwater, right? Which, let's say all of that happens. You think that people aren't going to just sell their homes and move?
Just one small problem. Sell their houses to who, Ben? Fucking Aquaman!
Oh my God. That clip's probably been viewed 10 million times. Combining that with, Twitter, his own show, the clip being published on other people's accounts like this one, 99,000 views. This person is just some random person that posted the clip. Yeah. 10 million people have seen that. Fucking Aquaman. So how can you possibly give this man a platform and engage him as if he is some serious thinker? That's the issue here. Unless you're going to come on and just mock him from the start, what the fuck are you doing? But like, I'm glad they try to push back here, but these aren't serious conversations. If you're having people on that are total fraudsters, what are you doing? Again, it's like having a discussion with somebody who's for eating sugar, having a all sugar diet. You're not going to have that person on because they're fucking idiots. So why are you going to have these other fucking idiots on the show? But that's what they do. Maybe one day he'll change. I don't know. I think Rogan means well. So I'm going to try to never use the word canceling again because it's stupid, the term. But I'm not, the idea that anybody would be for canceling Joe Rogan or whatever the hell, like, get over yourselves. Like, no, criticize him, criticize the guests he has on. That's fine, obviously. But but understand that, you know, he's not a bad actor here. He's someone who is just trying to have conversations, and I don't think fully understands the negative impact that he has when he has people like Shapiro or Tim Pool or Steven Crowder or Dave Rubin, who thankfully it looks like Dave Rubin is no longer invited on the show. Dave Rubin recently said during a live stream that he's reached out to Joe Rogan, you know, 100 times, and he hasn't heard back about Dave Rubin talking about his new book on Joe Rogan's show. So I think, and look, you got to give a lot of credit there to Sam Cedar and Michael Brooks for just completely destroying Dave Rubin on a consistent basis. I did a little bit of that early on, but I really haven't talked much about Dave Rubin for maybe a couple of years. Just because for me, it got tiring. But I enjoyed watching their commentary on him, and I think it's fully exposed Rubin for the grifter he's always been. Slothing About says, is it even possible Joe Rogan has never heard or seen these? He's huge online. Yeah, I don't. It's very possible Rogan hasn't seen these breakdowns of Ben Shapiro. I mean, Rogan's a guy that has like a million different things to do. I guess he still do UFC commentary, but he does that. He does comedy, I guess less now, but does his podcast. He's into archery, into hunting. Like, his days are full. Working out, obviously, jiu-jitsu. So his days are full. So I'm not sure how often he's actually online, looking up Ben Shapiro takedowns or or whatever. But you know, if something is talked about enough, then it gets in the zeitgeist, and you know, I assume he would come across it. Maybe I should do a whole live stream as Ben Shapiro. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Ben Shapiro. Today we're going to talk about why homeless people should stay homeless forever. So I was told by my billionaire backers that it is good. Homelessness is actually fantastic. I don't know where to go with this.